This is a video to show the before and after of my redoing our 12 by 16 covered porch on our house. This is what it looked like before I started, and this is what it looked like after I was finished. This is a shot of the inside of this porch. You can see the lattice that I hated. It made the porch feel very enclosed, and there were a lot of issues with the wood had never been painted in probably 40 years since it was added to the house. There was some rotten damage. There were some that were warped as well. And the mosquito or insect screen was just shot. It had multiple spots that just had been ripped and really couldn't be patched. This is a view of the inside after I was finished, as it is now. I wasn't able to go into a lot of detail about every little step along the way because this was a multi-month project. This took me about 4 to 5 months to do. This is what the ceiling looked like before. We'd had our roof redone about a year before this, and we had to have all of our roof decking replaced. So we were literally just looking at the ugly underside of OSB. And this is the way it looked now after I was done and I put a tongue and groove wood up in the ceiling. So as I said, this is the before shot. You can see, like I mentioned, the lattice. You can see the spots on the paint where it just hadn't, nothing. Like I said, nothing been done with it in a long time. There's also see a crack in the floor that I had to go back and patch. Thankfully, this is on a concrete slab, which I am glad for. And it was really well built, basically, but it was all done out of 2x6 construction when it was originally done. This is the left side. I was looking out of the back of my house as I had to rip all the screen off, all the trim off. A gazillion staples had to be hammered in, and then I had to replace a number of these joists. They were warped. A couple of them pretty bad, and the left side there I reframed. As you can see, I decided to put a door on the left side. We have one on the right side. I want a screen door on the left side as well. And of course, before I painted and did stuff, I put plastic down, blue painter's tape, and all of the wood had to be thoroughly sanded after taking the lattice and everything out, because that was one of the big problems with the lattice is you couldn't clean or vacuum the bottom in any way, shape, or form. It just got all gunked up and gooked up. So all that had to be taken out and thoroughly sanded before painting. This is the right side as I was painting, and another shot of that. This is that right side after I had finished painting the inside, painting all that wood, and I put new insect screen up. I used pet mesh. It didn't cost me, but very much more to use pet mesh. It is a much, much stronger material. And as I put it up, it just literally using an electric stapler. You staple it up and then staple one part of one side up, manually pulling it, stapling, pulling it, stapling. This is the more traditional way screens have been done, and I felt that looked better in keeping with the style of the house. This is the right side as I was doing the same thing there, rescreening it. And this is after the trim had been put back up. I decided to get rid of all the 1x2 trim because some of it was warping and splitting and stuff, and I went ahead and went with LP Smart Side trim, 1x2 trim, because being an OSB product, it's warranted 50 years. It should not chip or crack or anything, and I opted to go ahead and countersink and screw everything up with T25 star-headed deck screws, black ones I found. That way, if I ever have to take a piece off, instead of nailing, it's easy to take back off without destroying the trim. Each piece did have to be individually measured because of slight variances in the way this thing was built originally. This is the other side. As I put a new door in there, screen door. I had to take the screen out of that new door because they come with the screen pre-installed, painted the whole thing, put the screen back in. And this is the left side. With the door frame, everything was completed, all that screen trimmed, new door in it, and everything painted, ready to go. And it's another shot of that. And one more. This is the outside as I had the end done. All three sides were finished on the outside. And from the other side. This is the ceiling. And I had to do some rewiring. When they originally built this porch, they actually took the power lines, or the Romex, for the ceiling fan in the center and a floodlight on the outside, and put them on top of the ridge beam, which is just crazy. That is so against code. And anytime somebody goes to roof the house, I could easily just nail right through the wiring. So I was not comfortable with that, to say the least. So in doing this, I disconnected it, removed all that, and I re-drilled holes and rewired going through the rafters. As you can see, I used 1x3 furring strips and nailed them to this with an air nailer to the sides of the white rafters. Of course, I painted the rafters first. Those furring strips are what I used to attach the tongue and groove to. And I also wanted to put in some LED surface mount lights that are dimmable, to use for lighting out there. Just another shot of that. This is a shot of me putting on 3 coats of oil-based polyurethane on initially 40 pieces of 1x8x8 tongue and groove. I ended up having to get 7 more pieces and do those as well. I got this from a local wholesaler I found. They were less than half of what Home Depot would have been, and the wood was of much, much better quality. So I got a really good deal on that. Very, very happy with the wood. Very few splits, warps, any kind of problems with that. This was a temporary scaffold I built. I do have a video for this to show more detail about this, but there's no way to do a ceiling like that with ladders. Forget it. It just would have taken forever and would have killed my back, and it just wouldn't have been very safe. So instead of buying a scaffold that I'm probably never going to use again, because the ceiling alone was about a 2.5 month project, I just went ahead and built one. And after I was done with this, I disassembled it and reused most of the lumber. This is where, after I had started putting the ceiling up, the tongue and groove. Tongue and groove, as you know, you put them up, you nail the end of the groove to the ceiling, and then you nail through each of the tongues on the sides so that the nails are hidden all the way up. Each piece had to be individually measured because the rafters were, of course, being an older house, were not square, exactly the same length gap, in other words, between the rafters. And the right side was a little longer than the left side was, going from the ridge beam down to the wall. So that had to be accounted for as well. And in saying that, also you have to watch. Common sense says you want these lines to go straight across. You don't want them to be jagged or off from each other. It wouldn't look right. So in order to do that, according to my measurements, I had to cut about a 2.5-inch piece on the top next to the ridge beam, and then do the offcut down at the bottoms, because one side ended up being about 3.5 inches and the other side ended up being about 5.5 inches. And that way, when you're looking down it, you don't notice the difference in the width on the ends, but you would notice it very clearly if it was somewhere in the middle. And this is as I was going along. I was putting in boxes for my lighting. These beams going across, they're originally for swings, really presented a challenge because trying to get this around those was a lot of work. The ceiling is angled at 18 degrees was the exact measurement. So the tongue and groove that's up against the side, the white side there, had to be beveled at 18 degrees so there wouldn't be a big gap between the tongue and groove and the wall, so make it easy to trim out. And that took some gymnastics to figure out how to slide things and get stuff in there. Same here. Now this is where I started doing trim. I found 3/8 inch by 5.5 inch PVC trim. I went with the PVC option because it's flexible, and by cutting 3/8 inch by 3/8 inch strips on my table saw, it saved me a few $100 in just trim, and I was able to get nice thin trim. All the trim, however, had to be beveled also to match that the angle of a ceiling. So these pieces had to be beveled to do the angle of a ceiling, and the ends had to be beveled as well. And this shot is showing where I had to bevel it up against the side so it would be tight up against the ceiling, and the ends of the trim coming down along the ridge beam or along the rafters were beveled as well. And I just air nailed them on the sides with about 1 1/4, I think was the shortest I found, 18 gauge nails, air nails. And that way, nailing them from the side like that, when you're standing underneath it, you just really don't even notice the nail holes. And this is another shot of doing the trim at the top. This was a lot of detailed work. Every single piece I had to measure individually and put up individually. I finally got my patio done after working on this for months. Here's my ceiling. Contour ceiling with lights. Dimmable. Repainted the floor, replaced a bunch of lumber, repainted, rescreened, retrimmed. That's stuff I got to get back in here. And a ladder I got to put back up. I repainted the back wall of the porch. And of course I had to put some plaques up for decoration. Another shot of what the ceiling looks like now. And another shot. And again. And again. And one more. And one more. We opted, instead of we had a wooden swing, which frankly killed my back. So I found this swing instead, and I really like it. It's padded, it's comfortable, it seats 2 people, and it's nice because being on a separate stand, I can slide it around or move it around on some little coasters. And then we use a piece of, I got an outdoor carpet to put out there, just to add some character. And that weave looks like we felt like it really blended the different tones of the brown and the ceiling together. And another shot. And like I said, the final shot of everything completed on the inside looking out. I wish I'd done more as far as taking videos along the way, but it's just hard to video every little detail when you're doing this after work, on off days, little bits and pieces here and there. It's just really tough to video every step of the way. But if I can do this, most people can. If you're a avid DIYer type and you've got some carpentry skills, you could do this. I mean, I did this entire project for under $1,500, somewhere in the $1,300 range, maybe $1,400 range, including the swing. If I had to pay to have this done, I don't even know how much it would cost. I think it would easily be $15,000 to $20,000 to have it done. So it was worth me spending a few months to do this. I got the results that I wanted, and I felt like it turned out much, much better than if I'd even just paid to have it done. So I hope this gives you some ideas on something maybe you decide to do one of these days. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll try to answer the best I can. Thank you very much for watching.